So, hello everyone. This video is going to be about how I have repaired my polytunnel. In the last storms that we had here in Scotland at the end of January, beginning of February, unfortunately my polytunnel, a gust of wind got in, it snapped these poles, and it also ripped a big stretch out of the fabric, which you can see I have folded up down here so it doesn't get any more damage. Now, I have looked up a video online about how to repair the fabric, so I have the stuff to do that, and that should come in at about 15 quid. But the problem was more what to do about these poles, because they were snapped into across here. And you can see on this one that's starting to break but didn't. It went right across where that one slots into that one and just snapped them. So after a lot of research and a lot of thinking about what I was going to do about this, I've come up with the solution of pipe couplers. Now, I'll show you what they are. The first time I bought the wrong size, because I based it on the size that the Amazon seller said that these pipes were. They said that they were 19 millimeters in diameter. Now, I did not check. Bad me. So I bought 22 millimeter pipe couplers thinking they would work, and went to put them on and they did not fit at all. So I then did my measurements and realized that a 28 millimeter pipe coupler was going to do the trick. Now, two of these cost £2.50. I also got Jubilee clips, a 22 to 30 millimeter size, and that was £1.15 for two, and these were £2.50 for two. So what I've been doing is you'll see the polytunnel has been gorilla taped, duct taped together, and I had these props in also to hold up the pipes till I got it repaired. So what I've been doing is I've got clear silicone that I bought, because that's also going to be used to repair the top bit. And I had the idea, as you can see, this bolt goes from here through that one and into that one. Now there, you can see it. And I thought, okay, I'll just drill through this. I'll make a hole and then I'll secure it through there, out the other side, and that'll be fine. Except when I went to go drill through these things, I used a titanium bit that actually went through hardened steel. Where is it? Corrugated steel, but I've got back there in the back. You can see there, I've been using some sheets of it. I'm going to make a raised bed with it, and nothing would drill through this stuff. It was like iron, literally, haha. And it's just started raining, so bear with me. Anyway, it wouldn't. I got a titanium bit, it went through that hardened steel. Tried to drill through this, wasn't having it. I got a hardened screw, a big long really sharp screw, and a hammer, held it in a vise and tried to do a punch to get a start for the drill, made a scratch on it, tiny little dent, again got the drill in, pushed on it. It's an impact drill, was not going. It is not going to drill through it. So I've had to do the next best thing, and as I said, what I've done is I've loosened off this bolt here. So I've made this nice and wiggly so that I can shove this pipe coupler up between the two. So, I don't know if you can see that well. I've shoved it up between the two, and then I have clamped the bolt down on it. Also mashing lots and lots of silicone in there as well. This is a silicone adhesive. So I have pinched it in between the two, and then I have fastened the bolt down tight, so it is pinched. I've got the Jubilee clips, which I will tighten up once I've finished with everything. I will tighten them up really tight around the base. I don't know if they are going to compress this stuff, because it is just so impossible, but I will feel at least like I have secured it. It's not going to slip off the bottom. It's siliconed in place. It's going to have the cover over top of it, and actually it's going to have pipe lagging on it too. So it's sitting into about here. That's about the center, and then this bit is pinched between those two and siliconed in place. So once I get this next one all undone, I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like apart, and then I'll show you the steps that I go through. And then we'll fix the cover, and then we'll put it all back together, and then we'll just hope that it works, because I'm not a welder and I had to do this in the most economical way I could. And this, out of all the things that I looked at, there's nothing online on how you can potentially fix this. So I went and had a look. This was the best I could come up with. So wish me luck. I'll bring you back once I've got that one opened up and ready to go. So here we go. As you can see, snapped clean in two. It is sheared off that bit up under there. I paid a bit more for this polytunnel because it said it had really galvanized, super thick poles, and I thought it was really getting a good value for my money. Now, it was a freak gust of wind. It was just unbelievably bad weather that we had, and it's just come through one end and just lifted it and just snapped it with some kind of force. They are malleable. I'm finding that these are perfectly round and these are not, because they've been pinched by that bolt going through. So I am having to take a pair of vice grips and sort of squish this to make it back to round again, because you can see it's a bit oval shaped. So they are not, and they are certainly bendable. I can bend them with a pair of vice grips. I can't do it with pliers. I do need to get the vice grips and get that last little bit of sort of snap onto it to make it bend, but they are bendable. Anyway, I'm hoping that this is just going to give the reinforcement and the structure that it needs to hold it together. And if this side is feeling quite solid, I may just go and do the other side as well, just to make sure that it's not going to come apart again in this particular weak spot. So what I'm going to do is I'll get this bolt loosened off and I'll get it all prepped, and then I'll bring you back again. But I wanted to show you that is definitely two pieces, and these other three were exactly the same. So be right back. So I'm going to try and do this with one hand. You can see that I've got the vice grips on there and just squeezing them and letting them go in towards that clipped sort of way that they get is actually pulling that back into a round shape now. So it should fit over the top of it. Let's have a check. So I didn't check this the first time before I put all the silicone on it, hence I've got the gloves on, because it doesn't sort of wash off very nicely at all. So we've got this and we check, right? That is going to slide down over there quite nicely. I need to release that bolt to go onto that side, and it's going to fit like that. I'll get the Jubilee clip on it as well. So I'll get the bolt released, I'll bring you back and I'll show you how that fits. So my prop's fallen down, and you can see how really unstable this thing has been with that stuff come off of there. Got the vice grips on and got my box wrench and just unscrewed that on that side there. I could have gone and actually got a socket and used it on this side, but I had the vice grips out anyway, so it was easy enough to just work it that way and make it fit. So anyway, what we're going to do is we are going to slide this up like that. That is going to go there, and as you can see, it's shoved right up to where the screw is. I'm going to make sure that that's in focus so you can see. So it's right up in there, right next to the screw. And what I'm going to do now is I'll take it back out, I'll fill it with silicone. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus for you. I'm going to fill it with silicone on the inside, and then I'm going to bolt it back down. And then I'll put the Jubilee clip on the bottom. It'll look like the others, pure, and then we'll see how the structure of the greenhouse is seeming after that. Be right back. Right then, so that's it for today, because it is sleeting on my head and I can't feel my fingers anymore. It is so cold out here. But I have got it back on. This one was just taped up as a precaution. It didn't snap, as is the one on the other end. Having said that, I've put these four on. I think I'm going to actually replace that other one down the other end down there, because I don't like the way that it's looking. But these four right here, I mean, it's still moving, and it's not great, but when you look at the side, this is what it came with, and it's pretty flexible too. Most of the strength of this structure comes from that plastic being actually, what we did was we brought it down and we trapped it between two pieces of wood. That piece of wood is anchored to that bit of wood, which is actually anchored into concrete in the ground. And there's also straps that go over the bars that anchor them to these bits of wood, which are anchored to the concrete in the ground. So once that big plastic comes back over and we trap it the full length between two boards, we screw them back down, then that will hold the structure. That's what gives it its rigidity much more than these poles. I am going to put the prop back up, I think, just to be on the safe side. Maybe not quite as propped as hard as it was before, because I think that was kind of taking it out of true a little bit. Apologies. And the garden is not looking great, but it is winter, so everything is kind of, you know, just not as pretty as it will become this summer. So let me get this up. Hope it will work. There. No. Ha! Well, see, even I'm not infallible. No, I never said that I was infallible. So, right, I think I'm going to have to put the camera down because I'm trying to do this with one hand and that's just not going to work. I'm going to put the props back up and then I will end this video, and then when I come back to do the plastic, I'll do another video on that, and then you'll see the whole thing back together. But this is an experiment. Let's hope it works. So if anybody else who can only afford a £200 polytunnel, which was a wonderful polytunnel, if you can only afford a £200 polytunnel and you have this happen, it gives you an idea on how you might be able to fix it, because as I said, I couldn't find anything. I'm going on just sort of trying to work it out for as cheap as possible, and if it works for me, hey, it might work for somebody else. If it doesn't work for me, somebody else can give me some suggestions. That would be great. Right, see you on the next one.